Backup teams typically spend 10 to 15% of their time on repetitive tasks like ad hoc backup, restore, and client registration requests. When application owners or DBAs want to patch a server or perform any maintenance tasks, they request ad hoc backup by raising a ticket. Typical SLA is about 24 to 48 hours. Backup team then works on the ticket, manually executes the backup, monitors it, and then update the status. This delays the development and testing of applications. It also increases burden on the backup team who has other tasks to attend. Automating repetitive tasks reduces wait time from days to minutes and frees up backup team to focus on more valuable tasks. A fully featured and easy to consume REST API is fundamental for DevOps and automation use cases such as self-service, incident management, monitoring, or CI/CD. Dell PowerProtect Data Manager is a modern data protection software for backing up virtual machines, databases, and Kubernetes, both on-prem and in public cloud. It is also the central piece of Dell's industry-leading cyber recovery solution. PPDM's API-first architecture is ideal to enable all these DevOps use cases. In this demo, users can consume data center resources and perform data protection tasks using ServiceNow. Once the user fills a form and submits the order, ServiceNow sends a REST API call to Ansible AWX. AWX then executes an Ansible playbook that configures the underlying vSphere and Dell PPDM infrastructure. PPDM uses Dell Data Domain to store and retrieve backup data. At the end of the job, Ansible sends a notification to the user's Microsoft Teams. The ServiceNow catalog allows end users to add an asset to a policy, as well as to perform on-demand backups and restores of their own assets. Additionally, this option allows the user to select the backup policy when creating a virtual machine. Ansible AWX has been configured with templates to run these automations. The Ansible playbooks themselves are stored in GitLab where they can be version controlled. In this demo, we will provision a new VM called ProdSQL. In vCenter, we can see that the VM doesn't exist yet. Additionally, PowerProtect Data Manager doesn't have any asset that matches that name. We will run the job as a user from the finance organization called Finance1. In the CMDB, we can see that the user Finance1 doesn't own any VM named ProdSQL. Back in ServiceNow, we choose to create a VM. We provide the VM name and desired configuration. Finally, we select a backup policy and submit the order. This is all the end user needs to do. In the background, ServiceNow sends a REST API call to AWX and a job is triggered. After a few seconds, the job finishes and a notification is sent to Teams. The user can now start using the virtual machine. In vCenter, we can see the VM was created. The Ansible playbook also created a tag that matches the backup policy selected by the user. ProdSQL is now an asset in PPDM and it is protected with the policy we requested. By using a dynamic policy based on VM tags, PPDM was able to register the VM immediately and it is added to the right policy. Ansible has also updated the CMDB. User Finance1 owns the virtual machine. This will enable the user to perform additional operations for this VM. On-demand automated backups help DBAs and developers perform their own backups quickly and as often as required. For example, a developer in the Finance1 organization needs to back up a database before applying a patch. With this option, she can perform a backup of the virtual machine without the backup admin intervention. ServiceNow queries the CMDB to show only those VMs that are owned by the user. After clicking Submit, ServiceNow sends a REST API call to Ansible AWX and a job is triggered. In PPDM, we can see how the backup is already taking place. After a few minutes, the backup is complete and the developer gets a notification in Teams. She can now proceed with the patching. The user can also perform restores of virtual machines. Only VMs that belong to this user are displayed. The job in AWX is triggered, which in turn starts the restore in PPDM. In vCenter, we can see the restored virtual machine has been created. The register workflow uses PPDM REST API to assign any existing asset to a policy. This method is flexible as it can be used with all the supported assets beside VMs. PPDM has discovered a virtual machine named devsql_01, but it is currently unprotected. We will now register the VM. We can see the description and the cost of the available policies. An API call is sent to AWX and the corresponding Ansible playbook performs the registration. The virtual machine is now protected with the policy the user selected. In this video, we have shown how PPDM's API can be leveraged to empower application owners to perform their own backups and restores while increasing backup team's efficiency. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.